Hello, welcome again to our pre-live session. So today we will be discussing about pivot tables. Okay, so I have here a sample data set. It is called the mall customers data set. So as you can see, we have a column, customer ID, gender, or should I say gender, age, annual income, and spending score. So what we will do here is basically we will try to use this one to a pivot table. But before that, let's try to understand why we need to use pivot table. So let's say we don't want to use pivot table, but we wanted to understand this the information regarding this data set. So let's try to select the column of age and then uh, control column of spending score. And then let's try to insert a chart. So let's say this one. Let's try to select a chart. Okay, so this is a sample chart. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of hard to understand this chart because it looks like a haystack. So this is the problem if we don't use pivot table. Okay, so it's really hard to understand this data. In my mind, I wanted to know the age and the spending score of a certain age. If I'll try to expand this, still I cannot see any pattern in this data. So basically, it looks like the spending score is overlaying the age. What if we would try to delete this chart and let's try to put a filter. So let's try to sort it from smallest to largest. And then again, let's try to create a chart based on this. Two columns, age and spending score. Insert. And let's try to adjust. Okay, still it's hard. Still it's hard to understand. But it seems to me that somewhere here is actually spending a lot, but we don't know. So let's try to use a pivot table. So I'm going to click on customer ID and then press shift and then uh, control and then right arrow on our directional keys in the keyboard. So I selected all the columns and then bottom key on the directional keyboard while pressing control and shift. I select everything. Okay. So next is I will insert a pivot table. So here I am asked to do a new worksheet or existing worksheet. So I'll try to use new worksheet. So it will appear on the lower left of our Google Sheet. I'm just going to drag it and then change this one as pivot table _1. Okay. So again, I just wanted to use age as the rows and then probably the spending score for the values. So here, we have here sum of spending scores. So one good thing about pivot table is we can actually group them. So I'm going to choose this cell and then right click on my mouse. Then let's choose to try to group. So we need to group this one starting with 18. I think I need to start with 21 and then around 60 and then by 5. So basically what will happen here is that it will be grouped based on a certain scale. Let's say it starts with 21 up to 26, something like that. So let's look at the result. Okay, so we have here that our data is now clustered from 21 to 25, 26 to 30. Okay, so if we would try to chart this one, I will click on this part and then click shift on my keyboard and then click on this part. Then I will insert a bar chart. Okay, as you can see, I have here a much more clearer view of the data instead of doing this data, right? Instead of doing this chart, rather. This is very cluttered, all right? So here, it's very clear to see that uh, the age of 31 to 35 has the highest spending score. So what we can do is we can improve this one by deleting the grid lines. It reduces the clutter. And then let's try to double click on this one and then probably change the color to, let's say, red. So by doing that, we emphasize our chart. Let me just add data labels. Okay. So we had data labels. So one tip when presenting your chart is that you need to be very brief, very simple to understand, just like this. So very easy to understand. Okay. So there is no clutter involved in this chart. So let's have another chart, another one. Let's say I want to do the gender and then the spending score. Insert pivot table to the existing worksheet. So for the location, I will navigate here in the pivot table _1 and select this area. It will be presented here as the location and then click OK. Okay, maybe we just need to place it here. For this one, I think I need to click it here. Okay. All right. We are using an advanced filter, so I need to remove that first. because what happened there is that we arranged this one. So we need to remove that filter. So we need to clear. Okay. All right. So gender and spending score. We need to insert a pivot table, existing worksheet, and then in this area, what's happening? This command requires at least 2 rows of the source data. You cannot use command on the section in only 1 row. Try the following. If you're using advanced filter, select arrange the cells. But what happened? I did not do anything naman. So let's just create a new worksheet. What's happening? Let me just, I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to, I see. Sorry. Okay. So maybe what happened there is that I am selecting in the middle part. Okay, so let's do it again. OMG. Okay, we did it. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use gender and then we're going to use the spending score. Okay. So here I wanted to use uh, insert chart, pie chart, this one, or 3D pie chart. So I want to use 3D pie chart for this example. Okay. So let's try to change the angle. Okay, something like that. And then a little bit of explosion. Okay, so, and then let's try to try to, can we just change the text? So probably here. There's no text. There's no text options. Why is that there's no text options? Okay. So meaning, you know what? Why am I doing that? Because I am always using Google's Sheets. They have different ways of doing everything. Okay. So if I can just change this one to a little bit more appropriate, let's look for some examples. Okay. So what we can do here is we can actually change this one. So this is uh, age, and total, oh, sorry, age and tama, total spending score. age and or probably what you can say that age or the real uh, label for this one is the highest uh, age, highest spending score in an age group. Okay. The highest spending score in an age group. So this one is the the it's auto caps lock. Highest spending score by gender. Okay. So there are some instances that you're going to use uh, average than sum. So let's try that. So I already highlighted this, and now we will insert pivot table, existing to pivot table one, maybe around here. Okay, so age and annual income. So we have here our data, age and annual income. It's good that it captures the groupings of our spending score. Now, we will try to change this into average, the average of annual income. So, meaning this is the average annual income of a certain age group. So let's remove some uh, decimal places. And then we just need to change this into another uh, let's say bar chart. Okay, maybe this bar chart will do. So as you can see, the annual average income. So let's try to label this one. And I'm just double clicking the label and then changing it. So the average, let's use a bigger letter for average income by age group. Okay. So it's good that we don't have any grid lines here. So it makes our bar chart cleaner. Looks like it's cleaner than if there is a grid line. So as you can see, we have here um, the highest average income is from the ages 41 to 45. All right. And we do have a combo chart here. Let's try. So selected, insert, existing around here. So the age group, the annual and spending score. So this combo chart is still possible because we can just look at the lines, but although it's not a trends analysis, we can use this one just to look at it. But I think it's much more appropriate if you will try to use uh, different design. Okay, something like this. So clustered column, clustered column. So here, uh, this chart, let's look up at the it's not anymore the combo chart. Yeah, we're not going to use combo chart here because um, we don't want to confuse our clients with trends analysis. So that's the reason why we use this one, this column chart. So I think we just need to add data labels. What's happening? No. Okay. Troze. Can we try to filter this one? Let me just check. There's no filter. Okay, so this is how we use pivot table. In summary, we don't want to use graphs here on our data set right away. We need to do first pivot table because what will happen is that it will try to get the value. Okay, we get the value of each let's say each column in a aggregated version. So for the reason that this aggregation method uh, makes our data a little bit concise and easy to understand. Okay, so I think that's all for pivot tables.